Setting it up. It's coming. All right. Hey, what's going on, Tom? How are you this evening?
I'm doing great. How about you, MJ?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. So wh- I'm going to I see a technical difficulty. There we go. All squared away. Um, so I want to say welcome. It's been a long time no see.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you good? Going to be able to make it up for the Toys for Tots over at BA Scalar?
What's the date on that?
December 8th. It's like December 8th, I believe. It's coming up I think it's in like 2 weeks. No, it's December 5th.
I will be in Georgia December 5th.
All right. Well, enjoy your time.
Otherwise, I would. It's work related, so.
Hey, all right. Hey, that's even better. That's tax write off.
That's
So, like I said, welcome. I really appreciate being able to have you on. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm MJ. I'm your host. This is Tom Asher, the owner, HMFIC, the man of Three Brothers RC is the face. You get to see him at comps locally, nationally, Super Shafty. I've seen you all over the place.
Yeah, around.
So Tom, tell us, what's been going on? Any kind of builds you've got going on, or anything fun you want to share with our fan base?
I'm always trying to get into something. I got a G-Speed build going on, which is pretty cool. I have about 3 or 4 other trucks. I have a really cool truck I've been building in the basement. Do you ever see Rock Bouncers? Ever watch that or anything?
Oh yeah, dude. I believe the channel, my favorite channel, is Mad Ram 11.
Yeah. He's been on for a long time doing that.
That's real LS swaps, baby.
Yeah. Well, there's a bouncer on there called the Outlaw.
Oh, I've seen that a couple of times.
It's a fully independent suspension, so it's pretty cool. It's got a lot of horsepower. So I did a replica of that, all tube. I even built all the A-arms out of tubing, and it's got center diffs with actual Heim joints and everything. So that's kind of a project I'm working on down in the basement. I don't have it with me, or I would show you, but I've got the diffs, transmission, everything hooked up. I just have to build the upper roll cage to it. So,
are you going to go with welding or soldering, or?
I braze them.
Okay. What's your preferred gas? White gas or propane, or?
I use actual torches, oxygen acetylene.
Okay. Oh, you go legit. Like, you're top to bottom legit.
Power heat, and I like using that. And I use a tubing that works really well with the brazing solder. I mean, really smooth joints. So it's one of those things. It's a little bit of an art. I'm no master, but I can make it look pretty decent. So it just takes time, and I haven't had time to finish it up.
Now, so what kind of motor is that going to get?
Probably a 3800 Kratos.
Oh, the one you won't sell me.
Yeah, probably
that. All right, so a little back history on this for our fans. I've been giving you crap because you won't send me my a 3800 for my TRX6 because you know what I do to it. As you all heard, just no.
No,
I won't even warranty it. It is what it is. I know what I do to the poor thing.
We have some new. I can't say what they are, but they're newly designed motors coming out that we hope will really change things. So that's probably what I'm going to be around.
That's an interesting thought, because I know I'm no stranger. For the record, I'm no stranger to your motors. I mean, I do need to disclose to everybody else. Yes, I know I'm a driver for one of your competitors, but I love your motors. No questions asked. Actually, almost every one of my comp trucks has one of your motors in for whatever it is. And that really excites me. I don't I don't know that I want you to give that away because like that's a nice little teaser you put out.
But I'm not sure on the date yet, but it'll be for next year, we hope.
How about this question? Is it looking to be as smooth as the Kratos 6 or, right around, right around there, maybe a little more torque? That's hard to beat because that's torquey.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Not just because I own the company, but I really do think our Kratos are the smoothest crawler motors out there. And we're looking to up the game even more. So, it's kind of how I got into the business. Is I'm always looking to improve things. So I'm never, even if something's selling good, and I'm always, trying to get it better, trying to tweak it a little more to get a little more out of it. So that's, yeah, sure, we don't have to upgrade. We've already got 6-pole censored motors, probably the only ones on the market that I know. But we're going to try to do more. So we're going to try to make a better one even coming up next year. So
that's awesome. I have seen some China's on 6-pole motors, but I highly doubt that they're at nearly the quality. Especially,
I forget the name of the company, but they make 6-pole, but they're non-censored.
Okay.
There are a couple non-censored 6-poles out there. Well, one, I think, one company makes them.
Right, because that's actually, for the record, that's what I'm running in my Class 2 trucks, is the 6-pole non-censored.
Yeah, they really work good once you get used to them, or how to build a truck and tune it. That makes a big difference. With the censored motor, a lot of people they're real good down low anyway. So a lot of people have no idea what they're doing and throw it in their truck and it works great. But if you know what you're doing, you can take a non-censored like you do and make it really smooth. And there's a couple other guys running them that's won competitions, crawling competitions with the non-censored. So they're really a good motor. And ours are a 6-pole 18 slot, which the other censored motors out there are 12 slot. So it makes a little bit of difference. Plus, we use a staggered magnet design. We have 12 magnets instead of 6. For a 6-pole, you'd think 6 magnets, but we actually use 12. And where a standard censored brushless motor is 4-pole, so it'd be 4 magnets. So we're using 12 to try to get a little better low speed control. So just trying to put out some good products.
See, and that's what I mean, yes, it's a little bit of competition here and there, but what I really like as a customer, right? Purely as a customer and a hobbyist, I love seeing the advances everything is taking. Ironically, I actually see one of my students has popped in, and I'm gonna highlight Moore's Law, which I know he learned about back in the day, and I'm like chomping at the bit to say, hey, Ola, what's Moore's Law all about? Put them in the chat, but no, but I mean, you look at the cost, you look at the advances, even from like when I first got in the hobby 2 years ago. You had essentially a couple, just a couple of motors, and now you have the version 2s, the version 3s, the version, and what I really like seeing is not only the technology getting better, it's coming out nicer because the prices are still staying very reasonable. And also the tuning, like I know some guys are really hush hush about tuning, and some guys are like, here's my tuning settings, you got to beat me, good luck.
Yeah.
And that's what I really like about the crawler side is I've met more people on the here's my tunings. Hey, I got the castle link. Let's set up your ESC and go from there.
Exactly. That's the way we look at it too.
So,
we want our motors to run the best. So I'm, whatever I can do to help. So.
Yeah, and so I gotta ask because I know of one other company. I mean, there's only essentially 2 ESCs for a brushless that I would even consider putting in a truck. And I'm looking at I mean, a direct competitor of yours, as well as Castles, right? Again, a direct competitor of yours. And I'll just say it just because I know Holmes is working on, I think it's a BRX. I can't remember the exact name of it, but he's working on a new ESC. Is there, are you guys looking at getting into that market, or is Three Brothers going to continue like pushing the motor market as well?
Well, we're definitely going to continue pushing the motor market, and we're going to try. Well, we've been trying actually for a while. We've been working on different ESC combos. I posted a video up, I don't know, a year ago of the super quiet yellow jacket. You can find it on our fan page. So, we had an ESC and the yellow jacket was totally silent, no noise at all. So, we've been working on that for at least a year, but it's quite an investment. It takes a lot of work, and we're not there yet. So, I can't even tell you a date right now for it, but yeah, we would like to eventually do that in the future.
Okay, so that explains why you were so interested in. So, for the fans, I run a yellow jacket in that TF2 right above my face, right here,
Yeah.
and it was super quiet. And you were like, "How?"
Yeah. I mean, you were using an old ESC, and I couldn't figure out how you got it that smooth. So.
Actually, I found out that's a Sidewinder 4. It is a 4.
Okay.
I had taken off the. I like to take off the plastic pieces because that's more stuff to get in the way.
I was gonna say, man, because usually a Sidewinder 3 doesn't work that well with brushless motors, whether it's ours or anybody else's.
Okay, I plugged it in. I plugged it into Castling. That's why I know.
Oh, okay. Yep, that'll tell you. Yeah.
So I mean, all right. So I've got to kind of like I gotta think. So tell me about the history of Three Brothers. How did it come about? Like what kicked you in the butt to get everything in motion?
Well, that's actually a very long story, but I'll try to make it short.
We got time.
All right. So, I've been an enthusiast I've been into crawling since it began, since the very start of it. Back when, the only thing there was TLT axles or clodbuster axles. We were on scale trucks, MOA scale trucks, because that's all we had. Mm-hmm. And that's what you did. You had 2 choices of tire, 2 choices of axles, and that was pretty much it. But so I started way back in the beginning, and I've been in it, for ever since, messing with electronics and everything and motors. I was running brushless outrunners back then. I mean, like way back. It's just you explored different things. But anyway, I was a motorcycle mechanic, among my various jobs, but I had a shop for like 10 years.
Okay.
And I got a chance. I was hired to go around the world on a motorcycle. So I sold my business and decided, you know what, I'm going to go for. I'm going to go. This guy wanted to hire me to go around the world, and his name was Tom also. So we go off on that trip, and unfortunately, only went 3 months, and it didn't work out. So my job had ended. I had sold my mechanic business. I was into auto and motorcycle, so I had a $30,000 bike and no job. Just got it. So I tried to do odd jobs and stuff, and then I just kind of found a factory that would build me the type of motor that I wanted that didn't exist yet. So actually, the Kratos was what started. It was the inspiration to start an RC company.
Really?
Because like I said, we found a factory that would build us that motor, and which didn't really exist until we come out with it as far as a censored motor. So that was really our first product. And then from there, we got in, once, you learn how everything works, and we got into the servos and trying to upgrade those and make those better. And it's just been growing for there. Now we have quite a few products. But the Three Brothers itself, that was myself and my two brothers. They helped me invest in the company, and their one brother is really into RCs pretty well. My brother Joel, and then my brother Eric is just a little bit into it, but they were investors in the company. So that's where 3BrothersRC comes from.
Okay. I've seen on your personal page, I've seen Joel pop in and say hi,
Yeah.
and such.
Yeah, he still loves it. We started crawling together, way back before it all started. We were doing it, but so yeah, we have a history in it, so it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. So I gotta ask, because your big lifeblood on the servo side is the direct power servos. What inspired you to kind of focus on that as opposed to your more traditional 3-wired servos?
Well, that's actually a really good question. So way back when we started, we actually started with scale way back in the beginning, and then it quickly evolved into comp crawlers. Okay, so back then, your servo, what the comp crawlers were, you were lucky if you had 280 ounces, you had a high power servo. I mean, that was the bomb back then, like 280 ounces. Then it was 320. So, I know a little bit about electrical stuff, obviously. So back then, I took the name brand servos, like say your high tech, and I was running directly off the LiPo battery. I converted it over to direct power, and I was way back years ago, and I was running it like that. So because you get a lot more power out of it that way. Now, of course, if you take a servo like the high tech, I'm just using it because it was around for a long time. Back then, that's only rated for 7.4 volts, and you put 12 volts to it, it's not going to last very long at all. So you quickly learn that. So as time progressed, the technology got a little better, and we were able to find servo motors that don't handle the voltage. So now, there's always a fine line between voltage and the power you want, because I can put motors in the servos that run 24 volts, but converting people over to 6S is kind of tough. A lot of people are scared of the 6S.
Not this guy.
MJ is not scared of the 6S, but
no, MJ's never scared of the 6S. Yeah. He will send it in a heartbeat.
Now, if you notice, most all the basher industry and that type of thing has went to 6AS.
I have seen that. Yeah. And that
amps,
Yeah.
So, they've all converted over to the high power. Crawling, I don't know if it's ever going to get that. A lot of people have moved to 4S, but that's probably the peak for a while, I imagine. But because servos out, and we're not the only company, but you can run direct 4S from them, and it kind of makes it nice. That higher voltage gets a lot of power, and you don't have to worry about a BEC and messing with that. It's just one more point of failure. So that's what got us into it. But like I said, it existed if you modified the servo way back then. But once the servos got past, say, 300 and some ounces, then the ESC started browning out because the servos were drawing too much, and that's where they're actually called UBECs, universal BECs. See, every speed controller has a BEC in it. Mm-hmm. But when you put a universal BEC, you can put an IM BEC on. So, and another little thing that people don't know is like the old Sidewinder 3 that you had.
Yeah.
Or we thought you had. So
I think that honestly, it's either in that one or it's on that, because I pirated out of this, and I know it was a Sidewinder 3. So it could actually be a 3. I don't know. It's a 4. I don't know. Send it.
You can run those on 6S. That's a little. Some people know that, but a lot of people don't. The new ones you can't. They got firmware in there that they have firmware in there that regulates the voltage. So soon I gotta try. So as soon as you plug it in, it just cuts it off. But the old ESCs, you could just remove the red wire and as long as you have something to power your receiver, you can run 6S out of it. Had the axial AX2s, I think you could do that with too. So, just little things, because what the voltage is really, it's going through the BEC, and if you put too much voltage to it, it blows the BEC out of the ESC. That's what used to happen all the time. People didn't know it; they just checked their ESCs because they thought they blew them, but actually, in actuality, the only thing they did is blew the BEC inside of it. So if you remove the red wire, you keep using your ESC. It never really went bad.
Interesting.
So, nowadays, you have to, they've got it regulated. So, like Castle, their products no longer, if it's rated for 3S, that's all you can put in there.
Interesting.
But we were experimenting way back then with that type of a thing, and that's how it's evolved since then. So, originally it was all direct battery power, because little 4-packs with the double A's that you rode with that you use with your remote control car,
right?
Because the SCs didn't have VECs built into them, so you had to run that little 4-pack and plug it into the receiver, and that's where it got its power from. It didn't get it from the ESC. That was the old school way. Then they started building the BECs inside the ESCs. Then they couldn't handle the power of the servo, so now you have the universal BECs that, like the Castle BEC put on there, and then we're actually going back to the way it was because we have better batteries now. So now we run the direct power again, except we're running directly to the servo. So I know it's a long story short, but anyway, so it's been around forever. We're kind of, I think it's a better way, I honestly do, than plugging into the receiver, and worrying about a BEC for these high power servos. So
yeah, because I mean, well, clearly one of my favorite, actually, let me rephrase that. My favorite servo is my direct power from that 777. I mean, you were there at Super Shafty. You can speak to the courses that were set up, and I've noticed the direct powers across the board were able to sling the tires, like those thick, meaty Hot 6 Voodoo, those things you're like, MJ, what are you running? You don't need those kind of tires.
Yeah, I mean, the powers can make you or break you also. It can also move your back end into a gate and cause you to hit a gate if you don't want
On the other side, it has moved my back end away from a gate.
Yeah, you got to be careful because the real high power ones can do that.
Yeah, that's been fun. There's been a few comps. I know this weekend, I believe it's White Rose Hobbies up in Pennsylvania is having a Toys for Tots, and I know a lot of guys are going to be heading up there, and they set up some gnarly courses. You ever get a chance, you need to go, Tom, if you're ever in the area.
I need to get out more and crawl, actually.
Yeah. And I mean, you're not that far from me, so man, we have break coming up. You got some great spots close to where you're at.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, looking there, man, what kind of future are you looking at? Taking the servo level to the next game, to the next level. Because, like, again, as a consumer, I see a product being put out. I know Holmes is working on a version 3 or has a version 3, right? For his direct power.
Yeah.
And a Reef has a very good servo as well. But I'm also starting to see some small companies, or they have a very loyal following, coming out with servos, clearly modeled after it's almost like Servo Wars.
Yeah.
It's your Ford, Dodge, Chevy wars of RC.
Yeah.
Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, it pretty much is. Yeah, we definitely have some new things in the works. I can't say what they are, but our goal is, kind of our slogan, innovative RC products. So we have some new concepts coming out that are not the normal So we hope to be able to introduce those soon. But they're unlike anything out there. So we're going to try to move things in a little different direction, give people, because, see, there's a lot of new guys into the hobby that don't really build so much, right? And that's fine. There's a ton of them. And that's where your mainstream companies are taking advantage of, like, Savix, High Tech. They're just going to, they build for the masses. So kind of the smaller companies like Holmes and me, and there's a ton of others, we can do a little more specialized items. So but there is a lot of good builders out there. So we're going to coming out with some servos that maybe will give you options, unlike before. So, before you just buy a box. Well, what if you could choose
Right.
what you want in that box? I can't say too much, but so yeah, we got some new things coming out that we're pretty excited about. I just can't say anything right now about it, but it'll be more options for the RC enthusiasts.
And that really excites me. Like, what I really like is the pushing of different ideas, of like giving different options for builders. And the other thing that I really like is, you know, with servos are for I've only seen one company with a servo meant for steering that is not of the standard size. Like, it's not, the standard ear placement and all that.
Mhm.
And what I really like is seeing, like, you got, like, you and Reeve and Holmes, you guys are all pushing the market, and we as drivers, as builders, as comping, as trail people are really benefiting. The hobby is benefiting from the cost level is still very affordable. You're putting out your what is that, the overland winch, and there's what's your smaller one?
G11.
The G11. That's right, because you got G11, G12, and G13s. Your G11 is very, very affordable. Was it like $70?
49.
49. All right, so I think that might be the price of your G12.
Yeah, the G12's 79, but it's sold out right now. Actually, I came a little bit out. We have some new G11s that are coming up, and we've redone the design a little bit, and we're going to be using the hardened steel gears and the more economical servo, as well as some other upgrades. So it's going to be even better than it is now, and we're going to try to keep it the same price at $49. So that's really it's been a huge seller for us this year, because your average guy just getting into it doesn't have to spend $120 for direct power servo now. They can, spend $49 and get into the direct power servo market. So our new one coming out is even better, and we're pretty excited about that.
See, like, that also excites me, especially the guys, like, let's say you're relatively young in the hobby, you have a Traxxas. I mean, we all know their steering servo will die within the first two runs.
Right.
It makes past two runs. Congratulations, you're not driving your truck.
Yeah.
I've bull gears over here. I can test them, yeah. And my buddy our buddy Petros we can't wait for the new winch and motors. So I really look forward to having an option. Like, especially with certain classes that come up. I know in Sorka Light, you're available to have pretty much any servo that you want, just depending on the house rules, right? I know
Right.
some places they have to be literally box stock. Some places you can change your servo, but it has to be 2S, brushed motor, and you have your limitations. They're a little bit more flexible, but it's still a very even level playing field.
Mm.
And I just like being able to have a different choice. And I know everybody out there wants to look at the market and be able to say, all right, well, what do I need to do what skills do I need to install a direct power servo? And that skill is an RC across the board thing. soldering.
Right. Or using our connectors.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Then you don't have to know anything. You just plug them in.
Right. Yeah, but yeah, can you do them in green?
Green connectors?
Green connectors or servos? I don't know what my buddy is asking. Maybe that's a custom anodization. I don't know if it's aluminum or whatever.
Custom anodization, and you have to do quite a few to make it worth your while. You know, you can't just get, unfortunately, you can't just get one. I've had many requests for different colors and our motors too, but you can't just do one. You have to do hundreds. So, or you're going to sell hundreds. So that has the, you know, manufacturer, I got to think, can I sell hundreds of green ones? Is it worth it? So that's the reason we limit it on colors.
That's a very good point. I mean, and that's the side that I know a lot of hobbyists don't see. It's still a business. You're still trying to make a living.
If we don't make the money to get the next product, then we can't continue. So that's the goal, you know, is to you got to make to get the next group in, and that's why, you know, all these companies you see out of stock on stuff. You know, name your company. They go, you know, Castle is out of stock forever.
Yeah.
So you know, there's a lot behind the scenes that the consumer doesn't really know or doesn't see, you know, because they're not involved with it. But yeah, it's a little tricky. I mean, there's definitely an art to the business for certain. So, but you know, we've had a lot of great support, and you know, we've been doing great through this whole 2020 nightmare that's been going on. And who knows what 2021 will be? I don't know how good it's going to be. So, thankfully, you know, the RC business seems to be doing well. I mean, everybody's still out there building trucks, and it's been good. I'm building more trucks, you know, so it's exciting.
Right. I mean, you see one that's all kinds of kind of apart-ish up there.
Yeah.
I mean, above me is nothing but there. My buddy over here is like, green, it's the color of money. It'll sell. Send it. I love your outlook on that, Alan. I love that outlook. But yeah, I'd like. I mean, I know that I've seen a lot more other people, like not just your stereotypical hobbyists, right? But a lot of just other, it seems like more random people are getting into RC because that's what they can do outside. Take a walk. Well, I don't want to just walk. Oh, let's take an RC with me. It's, you know, it's a whole different exposure.
Well, you know, I'm into 1-1 trucks and motorcycles, but you know, you got to have a big facility if you want to build a 1-1 truck. You got to have a $50,000 garage and all the tools and equipment. But with the RC, you know, you kind of get the same thing. You really do, and you can do it in your basement or just a room dedicated to RC. You can build your truck, take the axles out. You don't have to have a lift. And when you're out there driving it, I mean, it's pretty cool. Because I've done 1-1 four-wheeling my whole life, you know, and people ask me, how can you drive that little remote control truck when you got a big truck? I go, it's pretty fun, you know. You get a feel for driving that RC just like you get a feel for driving a 1-1 truck.
Yeah.
You don't have to walk home, and you won't kill yourself if you roll down a cliff. So
that's truth.
the RCs definitely have their advantages, and I think that's why a lot of people are on. Yeah.
Speaking of, did you see that that video of that Jeep rolling down the cliff?
Oh yeah. Black Bear Pass, I think it was.
Yep. Yeah. So I see my buddy Adam over here. He's like, how about a 12-hour walk?
They've been doing that, I think, out west quite a bit.
They also do it in Pennsylvania every year. The Recon the Fix.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I know they do it also nationwide, or in Europe as well. But they've had a lot more restrictions recently. Yeah, so those events. Has Three Brothers ever thought about like kind of really breaking into that G6, kind of pushing that market as well?
As far as putting on events or
as far as whether it's whether it's a sponsoring events or even thinking about getting some of your stuff G6 certified, meaning can take 12 hours straight abuse from drivers.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be pretty cool to do, and we've had a lot of people offer to do that with our products. I just haven't took advantage of that yet. I mean, I'd like to do it myself, optimally if I have enough time. Uh, but yeah, I mean, that'd be great, and that's definitely on our list to do. Could except I'd have to. We have a lot of products now, so I'd have to have a couple of people driving the rigs with all our stuff on it. But I think they limit you, don't they, to the amount of products on a truck you can have? I forget.
I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into the rules.
Yeah.
But there's nothing. I don't actually. Some of the viewers may or may not be able to help because I know that they know a bit more about the G6 as a whole, the fix and some of the requirements. So if you guys want to pipe up, I got the chat up. We'd love to hear from you. Yeah. So again, like Adam's saying, you should run a fix. It was the best experience of his RC life.
Yeah, I would love to.
I did the 3 hour and it was a tough course. You know my size. I'm a fat guy. And it was really hot. So that killed me. But it was still great. Oh, it's Captain Paul. He's in the house. Have you had a chance to meet Captain Paul?
I don't know.
Have you seen his videos? In the lake, up at Blue Rocks Family Campgrounds, he puts 4 RC trucks on his it's a ferry.
Oh no, I haven't seen
Working gate, drive it on.
Nice.
Yeah, apparently last year, there's video of this happening too. A tiny human turned off their controller, and it did exactly what we all just hate our trucks from doing, and it just took off into a lake. And there might have been a recovery off of the USS Recon.
Yeah, I have to check that out. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it is totally worth it. A 6x6 will fit, barely, but it'll fit.
Yeah, I'll check that out. That's neat.
Yeah, so yeah, absolutely. He does it every year, and he also builds some really cool scale models. So I gotta throw him out a huge shout out there.
Awesome.
It's the detail is something that you would really like.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I have to say I don't put as much detail into them as I should. See to go drive, and it's tough for me, but some guys got a real, patience and art for that, and I really appreciate that. So,
as do I. I don't have. I mean, I see your G speed over your right hand shoulder. And I mean, you and I have a very similar thought process of build for performance, not for pretty.
Yeah. Well, that hopefully it'll be pretty. I just haven't had a chance yet.
Yeah, but it also performs. I've seen it. It did really, really well so everybody knows you came to our last competition up in Winchester, and the truck performed very, very well. So did you, as a driver.
Well, I was happy.
Yeah. And it was some stiff competition too.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good to see. Apparently, Paul's corrected us. He can fit 2 6x6s on there.
That's good size then.
That is very good size.
And where's that?
Huh?
Where is that at?
Blue Rocks Family Campground. I think it's I can't remember the name of the city. It's not super far from Harrisburg.
Oh, okay. Good area.
Yeah. It's have you been to Roush Creek?
I don't think I have.
That actually surprises me as an off-roader.
Yeah, I don't.
It's not that far from there.
I've been out west a lot. I've been all over, but I haven't been to Roush Creek.
Now, all right, okay. Maybe one day we need to learn. Lenhartsville is where it's at. Thank you, Adam. Maybe one day you and I, or like we take a trip. Maybe after I have my truck paid off, and I'm not afraid to take it off road.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah. Long wheelbases. No climb.
Yep.
So yeah. So looking forward, Tom. I really want to ask and say, do you have any future builds coming up that might interest, or are you planning for any builds coming up that might interest, whether it's your skill, your performance, your MOA guys, like any kind of aspect you really want to push or you want to tease us with?
Well, the crawler I think I had last year that weighed 2 pounds 15 ounces.
Yeah, that thing was like that thing lit the forums on fire.
Yeah, that was a fun build. It really was. Took a lot of time to get it down to. It was 2 pounds 15.9 ounces. I wanted to break the 3 pound threshold. So for class two, class two truck. So that was really fun, and actually did well. You couldn't break it because it was so light. It could just tumble down the hill and nothing would break because it didn't weigh anything.
But remember, you also didn't let me drive it.
Well, that's true.
No, I wouldn't do that to somebody else's vehicle. Mine's, I don't care, but someone else's vehicle, I wouldn't pull that off.
Back here, it's. I didn't build it ultralight. It weighs like 5 pounds even. It'll probably be 5 pounds 6 ounces after I finish the interior and everything on it. But I'm going to try to build another one with a new design chassis that hopefully people will see. It's not. I'm not getting into the chassis business. I don't want to.
I have a feeling.
A lot of people are doing that. So I'm not getting into the chassis business, but this is. I've got a design for an addition to your chassis.
Okay.
Pretty cool. But I'm hoping to get back down in the 3 pound range with this one. But I'm gonna, that one was pure ultralight. This one, will still be a 50-point rig, but I want to get a 3 pound there. So that's going to be coming up, and I think it'll be pretty excited. Plus, I'm going to use that mid mounted CMS I had, where the steering servo is right up by the motor.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
what's the advantage to that as opposed to a front mounted?
You can run a straight 4-link. And there's no panhard bar, no anything, and you don't have torque steer.
Interesting.
Yeah. So hopefully, I can get the ball rolling on that too. Maybe we'll sell some kits for mid-mounted CMS. So.
Yeah, as long as you're able to triangulate those front links, not running that panhard bar will be totally possible and interesting. So, all right.
Yeah, what you're doing is you're changing the direction of your torque by putting the steering servo back towards the motor. Plus, you can mount it clear level with the skid plate, so it's at the lowest possible place in the chassis. Now, you still have to align. You have a main arm running up to your cantilever, and it has to be in line with your link. So there's always, just like your panhard has to be in line with your steering for a normal CMS.
Right.
Well, in the mid-mounted CMS, there's no panhard, but your main steering link runs parallel with your regular links. So it has to run at the same angle. And as long as you do that, then there's no torque steer. And there's no panhard. So you get the, rigidity of a 4-link. It's pretty cool.
You hit the phrase, as long as you do that.
As long as you do that. Yeah. Well, just like a normal panhard, if you get it out of sync, then you're going to get a lot of torque steer,
Okay.
So it's the same concept.
That's really interesting. You definitely have my attention because, one of the first things that I see from newbies, come on, let's be honest. Anybody that's really, got into RC did that, tried to make a CMS out of a 4-link CMS.
Sure.
Now, your thought process and I have a feeling, I'm speculating here. I have a feeling who I know I might know who you're working with on that. They happen to, be a huge part of the Three Brothers team. Plausibly deniability, plausible deniability. I don't know what I'm talking about. But because they put out a hell of a chassis, for lack of a better term, as well. I'm just that really will change, I think, the game, because then all of a sudden, lightweight, very easy.
It's very easy.
Steerable, very steerable.
Also, with our new chassis attachment, I can't say what it is. It's going to save a lot of weight. So, and it'll increase your clearance like you wouldn't believe. In other words, you know how you got your links from your skid plate to the axle, and some people run the bent links for more clearance.
Right.
Well, this new concept design we have, I've already been testing it. You'll double the clearance you had before. So the only thing you'll see is the drive shaft. So we have a way to get the drive shaft out of the way too. So that's all coming up, and I think it's really going to be exciting. So we have a lot of new things, which is exciting. That's the most fun part for me about the job is trying to come out with something better, something cool that people really want. So that to me is the enjoyment. I mean, that's running the business isn't fun. It's trying to innovate and get new products for everybody and get people excited. That's what's fun about it,
That's really interesting, especially because I see, I know a lot of companies are jumping on the, the no prep drag, as well. I see a lot of really cool stuff coming out, and to also see the crawler aspect, kind of getting a little bit froggy, really pushing the limits as much as the bashers, as much as especially racers. They push the limits on everything.
Oh yeah.
I've talked to a few. I'm like, wow, my shenanigans are nothing compared to yours.
How many people was in that event at the last one we went? I met you at.
I think we had like 40, 45 trucks in class 2.
Yeah, class 2, yeah. 40.
Yeah, about 45.
Yeah, see, I mean, I've been saying this for years. I know some people might know, but I really think that we're coming to a place where we need to divide classes up, just like they do in any professional sports. They have a and B class, or a beginner and the expert class, because the level of drivers and builds is really a huge span. And it's been talked about for years, but I think it'd be nice if we actually came out with a higher level class for these higher level trucks. So
I really like that, because then all of a sudden, I also feel like, having the opportunity to judge as much as I do, I can see the levels of frustration, because it is a competitive aspect, especially the new guys. They're like, well, I'm not going to win. So, let's send it. But if they have a chance to win, and really kind of set that aside, I think that would be next level.
yeah, I mean, that's always been the recipe for all successful sports. You always have different level classes.
I'll bring it on a serious note. I'll bring it up to our local club and see what they say. We're going to be having a meeting coming up. I know probably February. We're going to set a schedule and talk about a few like rule changes, kind of to make things a little more competitive as well.
And I only say this because, guys like me, like you, and other companies that build these new innovative products, instead of the rules committee always trying to what they have to outlaw because can't let it run, why not have a separation of classes so you can get some of these new innovative products out, and the people who want to run that class, they can run that class and have these new products. So I think it would open up the door to, a lot more innovation and a fun time.
I think I totally agree, because then you have these skilled drivers that are putting together, throwing something down. You know, it also is kind of like showcase, have an opportunity to showcase some of these companies, some of these different chassis, some of these different concepts, because then all of a sudden, newer guys who are like just getting into it will have a chance to kind of like, all right, I want to see how this works. I want to talk to them. I even though I'm not directly competing about with these guys in this class, you know, and also highlight how much you just need to ask, because the crawler community essentially will tell you, will guide you. It's no bones about it. Come find me. I'm in a giant pink sweatshirt. You can't miss me as a fat guy. It's like, waving down with the ugliest truck in this, on available, but come ask me, and that's the one thing I really love about that community. And I really think you're right. I really agree with you as you further your point. Separation of classes will also push the level of competition.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I know I'm coming up against the guy, I'm gonna put you out because you're right in front of me, with 30, 40 years of experience in one-to-one, and then probably 30 years of experience, or on RC as well, on being able to read lines, being able to perform throttle control. That forces me to step up my game to be competitive.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's just things to think about. But yeah, I'm excited about next year. I think people are going to see a lot of new things, and it'll be fun. And the RC community has always been great.
I like that. I like that a lot. So it's coming up to our time. Is there any parting words you want to give any of our newbies out there that might be watching, or excuse me, advice that you'd like to give?
Yeah, I first of all, we really appreciate all the customer support. Everybody has been great in the entire RC community, and it allows us to keep going and keep getting new products out there. So we can't stress enough how much we appreciate it. Even cool new shirts we have for people. So I think the more we can all get involved in groups and be a part of it, the more fun it is. And to the new guys, don't get frustrated. And there's a lot of good guys on the internet that's going to help you out. And just reach out and ask. Everybody's always more than willing to help out. So it's a great community to be in.
Don't feed the trolls.
Yeah, don't feed the trolls. But yeah, it's just ask, and there's a lot of info out there, and it's a fun hobby to be in. I've been in a lot of hobbies, from professional racing to everything, and RC's the crawler community is great. It's a really fun hobby to be in. So
that's awesome. Especially with the I really like that I can take my tiny human out, and she can take the controller and have at it. If something breaks, it's
yeah.
fixed well, relatively. Um, it's definitely not 1/10 the price of a steering rack in a truck.
No, that's true.
Yeah. Paul brings up, there's no other sport that has the family aspect as much as crawling. And he's raced as well. It's just not the same. And
Definitely. And
yeah,
you've been seeing a lot more women and children entering the competitions, and I think it is really family oriented. That's one great aspect about it.
yeah. So a girlfriend, fiance,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the G6 is the place to take if you want to immerse her into the crawling community, and kind of like get her to enjoy it. That's where you want to take her, is the G6 style.
Yeah. I like G6s. I've done quite a few of them.
Yeah, we didn't even leave, and my wife's rebook it.
Oh, really? Wow.
I'm arguing.
That's great. Well, you get to hike,
Yeah, we were lucky enough to get one of the it's not really a cabin, it's more of a small enclosure with like three a double bed and like 2 bunk beds, just enough for us to sleep on, and maybe the dog, because the dog now goes everywhere with us.
Yeah, I know how it works.
Yep, Puppers is always there. But yeah, but the big thing is, if you can get it, those are the few that have air conditioning.
But yeah, you got to do it right. Hot tub, air conditioning, do everything you can. So
Yes. Well, we don't have the hot tub is courtesy of the sun in the pool,
we
but
we camp a lot. So
yeah. Okay, so you're used to it. Yeah, I did get to hang out with Adam and his whole family. Lots of harassment and shenanigans. And my best part, I think, was my little girl. We finally found the video. Actually, helped Adam set the course for the G6. She was putting flags,
Oh, that's cool.
and it wasn't just like the trail of the G6; it was the actual G6 event. So we got some video of that. So I was that made my heart little, really happy.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah. So all right, well, thank you, Tom. I really appreciate taking the time. I know it's a little late, late,
No,
well,
thank you, MJ. I appreciate it.
hey, thank you very much. Want to give a quick shout. I got to give a quick shout out to my sponsors. I'm gonna do it, kind of turn the thing and kind of give a little sneak peek of that Forerunner that's up there. That is on a Northwest Scalar Designs chassis that I had a little bit of a hand kind of pushing out their version 2, the scatter gun. I have their Skunkworks version sitting down in my shop. Who knows? I'll build another one. So I want to give them a quick shout out. I know it's ironic. I got to give my guy Reef a shout out because he is a sponsor. It is what it is. It's Servo Wars.
We hope the best for everybody. So
Yes, and that's the beautiful part about the hobby, right? Even though we're competing back and forth, you own, you own Three Brothers, as it's a great company, and you have drivers all over the place. The best part is you can still, there's still a friendship there.
yeah.
There's still great conversation. We have to poke the bear because why not? But we also know how to do this respectfully too. And Adam, yes, I'll send you that video of that. And who are my other sponsors? Oh, In the Works RC. Get with Brent. I know you have your guys, but Brent's also not too far from where we're at. He lives 10 minutes from the course at most.
Yeah, Brent's a good guy.
Yeah. So get with his links. Once he got that lathe, that's a game changer, flat out. There's so much. It's any kind of question that I've had about that, about when he was doing them by hand, has been taken away by that investment.
Yeah,
And it's great. He's really stepped up his game.
he's a good driver too.
Yeah, and he's doing titanium.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then who else is more of my other sponsor? Oh, Carry All RC, of course. So you need to check. You've seen the backpacks.
Yeah, I have seen him. Yeah.
So yeah, that's your clutch on a trail, flat out. And
For trail, yeah.
and you've seen yeah. I don't know if you were I don't know what you're doing or if you were there or not, but that backpack and be able to cart motor and ESC and all that kind of, and all my tools when the ugly duckling took a hobby wing and it kind of went right before a run, and I had already pulled the red wire, so there's a little bit more than just the BEC that went. Yeah. So either way, I want to say thank you, Tom. Thank you for spending the time. Great conversation. I hope our listeners have learned a few things. I hope some people were inspired to come out and do some more builds.
Yep.
Definitely check them out. It's got great winches, great servos. I love your motors. Not gonna lie, I torture test them regularly.
Appreciate it. Thanks everybody for listening too.
Yes, thank you guys. Tom, thank you very much. Have a great night.
You too.
Our viewers, thank you guys. Make sure you sub, hit that notification button. Thank you guys. We'll see you soon. I got to end it on my side. I know I'm ending the video on my side.
Are we still live?
Yeah, we're still live. I'm just trying to end it. I haven't figured out a good way to end it. Here, if you want to call back, I'm gonna end it here. Ooh, maybe I go here.